Hello and welcome to FTB Interactions. Last episode we upgraded our mana area over here, and then we also went ahead and built the infernal deconglomerator to process endstone after visiting the end. I have changed this setup just slightly since last time, so I added in storage buses on the barrels here, and instead of storing the tiny dusts, I have two packagers on the back. The first one here is for the small dusts, and then the tiny dust go into this crate, where I have a robot arm on there with a filter set to supply exact 9. And this puts in the platinum and the tiny piles of ender eyes, or ender pearls. And then we're just storing the regular versions of the dusts. And this is just powered with the Spectre coil on the CEF. We also built the Sky Cauldron to give us celestial crystals. And I just got finished growing this one that we made last time to size 900. So we can put this back in our ritual pedestal. This will stop all of the mob spawns. Hopefully the radius should be big enough, but if not, there is ways to boost this further. But anyways, the plans for today is to actually get into auto-crafting if we can. But before we can do that, we are very low on power. Not diesel, we have a lot of diesel. So we're going to be using our diesel to create more power. But I don't think at the stage we're at right now, we can actually add much more to our network without it blinking out. So we have to address our power issues. And for that, there is there's a couple of options actually. But I think the one we're going to be going for, since we have such a robust diesel production, is the diesel engine. This can apparently give up to over 6,000 EU per tick. And also we'll have to supply lubricant, which we'll have to automate, and oxygen, which we have already, but yeah, that's just two extra things to consider. So to start making our diesel engine, we need a lot of titanium, which we should have enough by now. I did process some more rutile, so we're up to 436 titanium. I hope that's going to be enough, but I haven't actually counted this out. And then the rest of the stuff is just more or less just steel plates. This is more titanium. That's just regular stuff. But the engine multi-block itself does require some eeVee components that we haven't quite made yet, as well as tungsten steel. And we haven't made tungsten steel yet. So let's start by trying to make the multi-block controller itself. This is going to take some eeVee components that we haven't quite made yet. So actually, let's have a look in the GregTech chapter. Yeah, so this is our quest here for it, and it will give us a bunch of components we can use. So let's start off with the motors, and I'm going to make a stack of these things since I do that normally at every tier. The quest only asks for 40, but we'll make a stack. But anyways, this requires some annealed copper wire, titanium rods, aluminium cable, and neodymium rods, which we actually don't have yet. And I don't recall how you get neodymium. Looks like from bastnasite ore. I'm not sure where this spawns though. Yeah, it looks like bastnasite or monazite. I don't know where to get these though. I'm going to have to look that up, I think. But in the meantime, I think I'll throw in some annealed copper. Yeah, I only have 200 annealed copper. I guess I'll make all of these into wire. But I have been processing up a few more ores, so there should be quite a bit of copper in here. You just have to make it annealed by throwing it in the arc furnace. And we'll put the annealed in the wire mill. And I think it is definitely about time we get auto-crafting. I'm still working with like LV machines and stuff. But man, I've just been distracted with so much other stuff, like the magic and getting all the different dimensions and things. But hopefully we can get at least some auto-crafting up today. So after digging through JEI a bit, I found the way to get neodymium, or one of the ways to get neodymium. I believe this also spawns on Aurelia, which we haven't unlocked yet, but for now we can get it from blue crystal shards from our orbital laser miner. This gives us a 10% chance at small piles of neodymium. But unfortunately we have run out of blue shards, so I'm going to have to turn this thing on. And yeah, obviously our power is an issue. Yeah, this might blink out our base, but I'm going to leave this on for a while, try to build up some blue shards, and then see what else we need for this. Is there any other material in here I don't have yet? I think the rest of the stuff we will have. I made a bunch of aluminium cable. I guess it's just the tungsten steel wire. And we don't even need that much of it either, to be honest. So to get tungsten steel, we have to vacuum freeze it from steel and tungsten. But that requires us to make some tungsten, which requires tungsten dust. And this we're going to get from our tungstate, which is from the infernal deconglomerator. So we're going to take some of this tungstate dust that we have. We're just up to about 5.5 stacks by now. And I should actually lock these drawers. And this, I just realized this has to be an eeVee electrolyzer, which we don't have yet actually. So let's make one of those. And we have everything except for the platinum wire. Luckily though, we are getting platinum from our endstone processing also. So I'm assuming we can just smelt the dust. Yeah. Alright, so there is our first eeVee machine, I think. And that's a quest also. I wonder if we get any rewards for that. Just some circuits. So yeah, the question is though, how do we power this thing? Because obviously our power is an issue right now. Do we have enough energy on this line right here? Let's grab some hydrogen from our system. And probably once we get our power up, we'll set up a permanent spot for this just to import all of the tungstate. But no, it doesn't look like we're getting enough energy right here. Okay, I moved it over here next to these diesel generators. We have 4 here, which should be enough for bare minimum eeVee power. So we're just going to throw this here. I'll probably put on a hopper and a chest on this thing. Let's just take these ones. There we go. So I'm just going to throw in all the tungstate we've got in here. And this will give us tungsten dust. And then with this, we have to blast furnace this. This has to be at least 3000 heat. So I think the Canthal is 3000. No, it's actually not. We need nichrome coils. Luckily, we do have some chrome that's already been smelted because the chrome does take a while also. So it's 4 to 1, I think. Just going to do all of this in this one, and then we'll build a new blast furnace over there. And just to make this a little bit easier, I'm just going to temporarily swap this out with another input bus. And we'll put in our chrome. Yeah, okay. It's a bit slow, but yeah, we'll wait for those coils. And in the meantime, I guess we'll count out just to see... Oh, by the way, I also keep getting nausea. I don't know what that's from. It could be Thaumcraft. It's like for 3 seconds, but it's really annoying. Yeah, so do we have enough titanium for this? I think the answer is yes, but I'll have to make some gears and some pipe and whatnot. So let me do that, and then we'll be back, hopefully to make our tungsten steel. Or maybe not. Yeah, our ME systems went down with the orbital laser miner on, so I don't know what I'm going to do right now. Oh, there's the nausea again. Okay, maybe instead of doing the whole eeVee quest for motors and whatnot, this one here, I think we're just going to leave that, and we're going to make bare minimum for our diesel generator, which is just 2 motors and 2 pistons, so we need 4 motors in total, and I think that's going to be much more reasonable. We do have to make one of these crystal processors though, or... No, I guess we can do the quantum assemblies. This will be fine. And I also forgot to add the nichrome to our storage bus right here. Let's add that before we get any more hot ingots in there. So I have turned the orbital miner off. We are up to 4 neodymium ingots, which I think should be enough. We just need some rods from this, which we get 2 for each ingot. And then I think that's all actually we need. It's just going to be a whole lot of crafting from now on. I've made some rings. I need to make some rotors. I'll need some pipes. And then some frames. And then yeah, we can start piecing this together. So I mentioned that this quantum assembly would be no problem, but actually we haven't made the quantum processors yet. I don't know if you remember, we were going to make these things and we decided to do the assemblies instead. Yeah, so right here we made the assemblies for eeVee. We do need these quantum processors though to make this. So for that we will need the qubits. And I seem to recall we got some of those from the quest reward. Oh nice, that is a lifesaver. That is amazing. Okay, let's make up a batch of these quantums, which is the qubits, nanos. We have some nanos, I think. Oh yeah, we've got nanos. We'll take some platinum wire, but we have that by now. And then just SMDs. The fiber reinforced boards, I'm making these right now. This was just our raw carbon fibers with epoxy. And then we combine that with copper foil. We do have to cut down these wafers, and is there any other reason we want to keep them as wafers? I don't think so, right? It's only to be used as qubits. Yeah, we might as well cut them all that we got from the quest reward. There we go. And I'm making some platinum wire right here. While we wait for those components though, I think we have everything for our motors. So I think it was 4 that we needed. Unfortunately, we won't get the quest for this thing, but we will be making, of course, many more of these motors. And we also need the 2 pistons. And then we're just missing the 3 middle items, which is the tungsten steel. We're waiting on the coils for that. eeVee machine hull, we can get this right now. And then that just leaves the processor, or the quantum assembly up there, and the wire. Okay, we got enough for half a stack right now of processors. I just need some solder and alloy, which I should have right here. Or no, I'm missing something. Oh, of course, this has to be eeVee assembler. Alright, well, I guess we're making an eeVee assembler then. Oh, but this is going to eat more components at eeVee tier, isn't it? Yeah, we'll need more motors, which I don't have any more neodymium. So I guess I have to AFK at the orbital miner a bit more for some more of that. Luckily though, this thing takes, 4 circuits, nanoprocessor assemblies, right? 2 for the robot arms and 2 for the machine itself. And we have exactly 4 left, so that is very lucky. But yeah, I'm going to go into AFK to get some more neodymium. And then we'll be back to craft the processors. While I was waiting on the orbital miner, I did go to Euclides Prime for a quick mining trip. I managed to get some unique stuff here, like chromite. This gives us a lot of chrome, obviously. I got some quartzite, which I think we'll be using for the autocrafting stuff. Some V crystals, some Certus, and some diamonds, which we were lacking on a little bit. After the mining, I did just go AFK for a bit, but we are still short neodymium. So instead of trying to wait on this orbital miner and blink out our base in the process, we can also get neodymium from rare earth. If we centrifuge rare earth, we get a chance at neodymium and some other stuff that we're going to be using later on. But to get rare earth, well, there's two ways to get rare earth. We can get it from monazite, which isn't very efficient, but we can also get it from the Vintium chicken. And the eggs from this chicken actually give us tiny piles of rare earth, which is what we're after, mana steel and Vintium dust. All three of these things are going to be useful, so I think we'll take a small detour and actually build this Vintium chicken. It will take some blue vitriol water solution, which is found all over the place on Euclides Prime, and also an exquisite Vintium, which I did actually make extra of when we were making the flawless to get the end rod last episode. So I believe all these lakes on Euclides are actually not the regular water, it's the vitriol solution. I'm just going to fill a whole tank of this stuff. And then we just put all that together in a mixer, and we'll get our Vintium chicken. There we are. So we got the Vintium chicken to 10-10-10. So we're going to set up a system quite similar to what we did here with the latticite and the radon, for their own dedicated machines for this. And I've been trying in the series to not set up too many things like this that need move later on. So instead of just putting down a centrifuge right there, we're going to make it a permanent location. So I'm thinking for like the passive stuff like this, we're going to keep it on this side of the base, and I'll probably put another corridor coming up this way, and then we'll have another corridor that leads along here with more machines on this side. And I think we'll just tuck it in behind this one right now. Okay, so I've laid enough out just to get us room to place the machines. This would be ideal if we could do this at a higher tier, so we will end up upgrading these machines, but since I had these MV machines, I'm just going to do it with these right now. And as you know, we are poor and don't have any power or materials, so this is going to do us for now. So this is going to be centrifuge into a packager. And to move the items, we're going to use a robot arm, just so that we can have supply exact 9. Set to export. We'll need a circuit for this. So then after the packager, we're going to get these the regular dusts, which we want to store in barrels. So I'm going to do that by, well, yeah, we'll leave a space so we can have storage buses, and then we can just item conduit this in. And then from here, what we want to do is centrifuge once more to give us the neodymium. So we're going to place another centrifuge. We're just going to conveyor belt this in, just to save a block space right here. And then we can set this to import mode and plug it in. And once this gives us enough rare earths, looks like our... Oh, I didn't put in the chickens. So once we eventually get enough output for this thing, this is a lot slower than what I actually thought here. We will definitely be upgrading these machines. But I've added in 6 more barrels for the output of this second centrifuge. And this is going to go straight into this packager, where we're going to put another robot arm for supply exact 9. And yeah, looks like we just got our first piece of rare earth. Actually, no, we want supply exact 4 right here, because these are small dusts. So yeah, I guess that we can call that rare earth automated. We can just put on our facades, and then later on, yeah, we'll upgrade these machines. So this is going to passively give us neodymium and a bunch of other stuff. But I think I will actually just go and AFK at the orbital miner, because this is the only thing I'm waiting on, is a couple of pieces of neodymium to get our motors. Yeah, like we are only 2 motors short for a conveyor module for the eeVee assembling machine, and then we'll be able to make our circuits. Actually, instead of running the orbital miner, I'm just going to throw some of the Vintium eggs in our HV centrifuge here, just to try and speed it up. Yeah, we only need a couple of pieces of this stuff. And finally, I got the other neodymium, make our 2 motors, and then the eeVee assembling machine. eeVee assembling machine, there we go. I'm surprised that isn't even a quest. Okay, well, let's put it on our eeVee line, I guess, right here. Man, this is such a mess, but it's going to be cleaned up very soon anyway. We'll take all of our circuit components, and we are making circuits. Nice. How many is it we need actually for the quest for this? Oh, I guess we already got the quest for the assemblies. Okay, so we'll let that finish. Let's, in the meantime, check on our nichrome. I wonder if that's finished yet. It doesn't look like it, but we may have enough. Oh yeah, we've got 176 here. We just need the 2 stacks for enough coils for 1 blast furnace. So we can run this through the wire mill and get that up and running. And I didn't check actually, is it a HV recipe? It's MV. Okay, so we don't need to give it eeVee power at least. We just have to set up the blast furnace. So there is another blast furnace. We'll need some energy inputs. Okay, wires are finished. There is our nichrome coils and a quest. I did also set up this blast furnace right here. And we're just going to set it up more or less the same as what those ones are over there, with input in the front and output on the back. We're going to put an interface on the back just straight on the output bus, and this will put all of our hot ingots into our system. I'll have to remember actually to set it on this storage bus. So we want to add hot tungsten to our storage bus right here. And I did also take a fresh P2P connection down here, since there will be blast furnaces all along this wall. And I think to access that area back there, we're going to have, obviously, this corridor right here. This will go left and then further on and connect with this hallway here. And then I was thinking that we actually make another exit point right here and go out and then be able to connect up on this side of the wall. Just so that you don't have to go too far to get to the other side. So we just need to plug this in, and I have to actually connect the P2P tunnel right here. Okay, device is online. This interface should be hooked up by now, which means that we can throw it in our tungstate, or tungsten. We have 8 processed so far. But like I said, we don't need that much of this stuff. And is this running? No, it would help if I actually plugged this in. There we go. Oh, and once again, we forgot about the quest reward here. So this gives us 8 free coils. Oh well, I'm sure we'll use them. And meanwhile, our stack of processors have just finished, which means we're going to be using 2 of these things to make our assemblies. What are they called again? Quantum assemblies, these things. Also, our tungsten has finished 2 ingots so far. So we just need a little bit of this just to make it into wire. Actually, we'll only do 1 of these things. Oh no! This has to be tungsten steel, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's tungsten steel wire we need, which means we have to convert this into tungsten steel, which is steel and tungsten. This is HV, but we can throw it through the same blast furnace. So once this is finished, I'll combine this with some steel. And then I think that all that's left to do then is just craft the rest of the components. So I'm going to gather up these things and then we'll set up our diesel generator. Finally. Managed to scrounge up enough resources here, we can finally make our diesel engine. That's 1 task complete. And I got some rare earths, by the way, from this Vintium quest reward, so that gave me the rest of the Neodymium I needed. Next we need 8 of these engine intake casings, which means I need 3 crafts of this, unfortunately. These are probably the most expensive piece, the intake casings, because each rotor takes, 5 titanium each, and then each intake casing takes 26... Yeah, each engine intake casing takes 40 pieces of titanium each, if I counted this correctly. So these are definitely the most expensive parts of this multi-block. But we also need the gearboxes. I think just 3 of these things. And then all that's left now is 22 stable titanium casings, some inputs, and an energy output. Alright, quest complete. Managed to get all the rest of the stuff. And this gives us the rest for the multi-block. It also gives us 8 motors apparently. So yeah, while I was waiting on all that stuff, I also did set up this little area. I think this is where we're going to be putting our power gen. And eventually we're going to have a few of these things, I think. But we also have like a fusion reactor, which I think we'll also put in here. And then the plan is to output all the energy into a flux network on all of our consumers here. Like for example, all of these setups, we're going to switch to CEFs. And we're going to remove these generators. So we'll have like CEFs with a flux point on there to convert back into GregTech energy, and this is how we're going to power all the machines in the base. So let's claim all these rewards and let's build this thing, shall we? I don't actually know how big this is, so we may have to adjust the configuration of the room here. Let's see if we can get a preview. I think it's 1 block off the ground. Okay, so it's 4 by 3, which is a bit annoying because 4 is hard to center in a room, but we'll make it work. Oh, somehow I have blocks left over. I guess that means the quest gave us extra to be able to make more than 1 of these things. Can we afford another one right now? Not really. Yeah, but I believe these things can share walls, so we can stack them vertically. I think if we just do this, and then put the other machine controller here, we can surround this block. Yeah, this is going to be enough for 2 of these things. So now that we have this built, we have to actually fuel this. So we're going to be supplying it with diesel. And as I mentioned, we also need lubricant and oxygen. So I'm wondering, we are already producing oxygen. We are producing it over here next to our epoxy setup. I think it's this chemical reactor here. This should be sufficient, I think. So we're just going to ask for this from the ME system. But we will need lubricant. And lubricant we can make a few different ways. We can mix it with talc or redstone with a bunch of these fluids, either seed oil or creosote or regular oil even. So I was considering which one to do, and I think we're going to do distilling seed oil or creosote. The quest says that we don't need a lot of this stuff, so it doesn't have to be super efficient. But the seed oil we can get from fluid extracting different seeds, obviously. Or the creosote oil we can actually get from fluid extracting our charcoal. And we have, I think, a full barrel of charcoal over here next to our improved coke ovens, so we could use this. So yeah, next let's set up automatic lubricant. Okay, so I've just went ahead and set up lubricant automation, and I see you over there. Looks like we are still getting some spiders just on the very edge of the base, but these things do track you for hundreds of blocks. They are very persistent little things. Anyways, so the way this is set up, it's really simple actually. I did have to rewire some of the P2P connections down here just to be able to make space for a storage bus on this barrel for charcoal. I decided to go the charcoal distilling route instead of the seed oil. So then the way this works is we have charcoal obviously exposed into our system, which we're asking for from this interface right here. That is being exported on brown channel on this item conduit into the fluid extractor, where it gets turned into creosote oil. And then the fluid extractor auto outputs to the distillery with circuit 0. And this distills the creosote into lubricant, and then that gets auto output into the fluid interface, where I have a 1K ME drive partitioned for lubricant on our system. And this level emitter here is just to stop us burning through all the charcoal, because I mean those 1K fluid storage drives hold a lot of fluids in them, and I don't think we quite need that much lubricant in our system. So I'm just going to filter this for a bucket, and it's just going to make it as we need it. But it's something I don't have to worry about at all. We're making automatic coal, and the rest is just power cost, which I have, by the way, from another CEF with a Spectre coil there. And one more thing, this actually does give us ashes. There's a chance output at ashes here. The only real use for ashes is just a centrifuge into carbon dust, but we are swimming in this stuff, so I'm just throwing it out in a trash can here. There's really no need for it. But yeah, I think that's all the stuff we need for our diesel generator to start working. As far as I'm aware, this doesn't actually need a rotor, unlike some of the other multi-blocks for power. This just runs off diesel. So in fact, what we're going to do here is move the input hatch, and we will need 3 of these input hatches. So can we put them on this side of the machine? No. Okay, it looks like this has to be a casing. Or wait, no, I just forgot about that block there. No, it still doesn't form. Okay, so it has to be on one on each side, unfortunately. So I suppose in that case we're going to put a fluid interface here. Yeah, it'll be fine there. We'll put a fluid interface, and we'll need some fluid filters. The first one is going to be for Infused Nitro-Diesel, and the other 2 inputs will be for oxygen, and the last one will be for lubricant. And then we can run these fluid conduits just down underneath and connect to the same fluid interface. And then on the fluid interface we're just going to ask for those three fluids again. And then the last thing we have to do is actually just plug it in. So I'm probably going to have to rewire some of this stuff. I would like to have another dense cable that goes this way from the middle of these controllers. So let me take a second just to rewire this. Okay, I got it all rewired here. I've left enough space so that we can run different P2Ps off this main dense cable. So I think this wire right here is for all of our storage. Yeah, that's going to all get moved eventually anyway, but we have a fresh one here for the diesel generator. And the interface is just sitting here, which we can connect with some ME conduit just to share the block space. And now if I haven't done anything wrong here, this should be getting lubricant, oxygen, and diesel. Okay. And it looks like it's even running. Nice. So I'd quite like to find out exactly how this works. It does say in the quest right here that it's better to have it running all the time instead of turning off and on because of supply can't keep up. You can also use a GregTech pump to set exact flow rate to match your production. But I'm curious if this will continue to run and burn diesel even if it has no output. It probably is worth investing in one of those pumps though, to limit our fuel. You know what, we will actually do that. We're going to swap this item conduit out with a drum. This is going to act as a small buffer as well, just in case our ME system goes out. So that's going to get a diesel. And then we can put a pump on this, I believe. And LV, should we do an LV pump? This is 1280 millibuckets per second. I don't know if that's going to be too fast or too slow, but we can always upgrade it. So there is a pump on the side of that. Make sure it's set to input, or export, I mean. Export from the drum into the machine. So now all we have to do is connect this up. And for that, like I mentioned, we're going to use flux networks. So are we able to make flux network things yet? Yes, with some difficulty, I think. Or maybe not. We need vibrant alloy. Just energetic and enderpearl with hydrogen. Oh man, this is going to be a lot of steps. Silicon, we have some of this. Solarium, netherite and soul sand. Okay, maybe not quite yet. So that will limit our ability to send massive amounts of power in one place, but we can still use the energy injector and spectre coils everywhere for all of our machines here. And this will be sufficient, I think, for all the HV stuff. So we could just move the CEU setup that we had. And, well, I'm glad explosions are not enabled in this pack. I guess we need the eeVee CEF. I wasn't even thinking about that there. And oh no, our powers went out. Okay, mistakes were definitely made here. What am I going to do now? Because I don't have a CEF to power this energy injector. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take this CEF. We'll break this CEF. We'll turn it into a CEU, which converts from GregTech to FE. And then we'll place this one back down, put all the full batteries inside, and then put this on our energy injector. This will allow us to access our ME system. And we need to speed run to make one of these CEFs. So we want CEF at eeVee tier. This one. What are we missing? Aluminium wire? Oh, we don't have any of that. Of course we don't. Okay, quick. Little wire mill. LV. Okay, we just need the eeVee machine casing. I got the wires and some more red alloy. So is that it? Converts FE to GregTech. No, we want this. We want the CEU, but we can just convert like this. So now we can take the energy injector again, and then we'll take our eeVee power, no explosions this time, straight into the energy injector, and this will power it. And then we can fix this mess right here and put this back. Put our spectre coils back here. There we go. So yeah, it looks like our lubricant is actually keeping up. It's going up here. So it's good to know that at least that is working. And what about the oxygen? Are we staying steady on oxygen? We are. And the diesel? We're still producing diesel. We're still at max diesel right now. Or near enough max. This will be something we'll have to keep an eye on though, is the diesel generation. Thanks for the comment, by the way, telling me that you had to put in the range add-on on the fluid pump for the oil before you turn it on. That seems to have fixed it, and we're full in oil right here. So yeah, I guess the next steps is to remove all of these turbo diesel generators. Or actually, do we want to do that right now? I don't know if the Spectre energy is going to be enough to power HV. I think we may have to put them all on redstone Spectre coils, which is the upgraded version. And this takes some microchips and eyes of redstone. I mean, this isn't too bad. And it is probably worth getting rid of all these inefficient diesel generators, burning all the fuel. But I think that's going to be a project for tomorrow. Unfortunately, we didn't get any autocrafting done today. This diesel generator took a little bit more than what I thought to get it built, and maybe I was a bit too ambitious for one day. So I think actually we'll do another stream tomorrow instead of the regular episode, and we'll call that episode 29. And in preparation for that, I'm going to make a lot of different ME components where we will need a bunch of interfaces, and then obviously for the autocrafting there is Lazy AE2 in this pack, which is a whole multi-block stuff to store all your patterns in. And this takes a bunch of fluid steel, which is just, well, hold on, electrical steel. Okay, this doesn't look too bad, so I'll probably batch craft a bunch of this stuff in preparation for that stream, and then we'll get right into auto crafting. Stream is going to be 12 PM again, GMT. I think we'll do another 5 hours like we did last time. So if you're interested in that, check that out. If not, the VOD will be on the channel. But yeah, until tomorrow, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more FTB interactions.